Hello, what you are currently looking at is the assembly code for the Reindeer Scalper trading robot. Specifically the on-tick method in the MQL file. It is impossible with the new version of MetaTrader to convert the code back to its original source code, so we must look at it in assembly code. I use a piece of software called Interactive Disassembler to see the assembly code, and it also has a nice feature to convert assembly code into a C++-like version. This will help demonstrate the logic of the trading robot for people without assembly knowledge. This video is going to be very technical. If you would like to go straight to understand how this trading robot scams, I have timelines in the description of the video below for you to fast forward. I have also included an example MQL file which shows briefly how the robot decided to open and close positions. It is reconstructed from the original. The first bit of code in the on-tick method loops through all open positions by the trading robot and updates the stop loss and take profit. When positions are created, they are initially created with the stop and take profit not set. The next bit of code looks at the difference between the ask and bid price and checks it is above 100 points. This is done on line 218. This is a spread threshold check. If the spread is higher than 100 points, it closes the existing positions. The next bit of code is checking if the current date and time is beyond Friday at 10 p.m. If it is, the current position will be closed before weekend. This can be turned on and off by an input into the expert advisor. The next bit of code is checking a trading window. It allows you to open trades between a start time and end time for the current day. The time must be above 720 minutes since the start of the day and lower than 1080 minutes from the start of the day. From line 361 to 375, it is checking the current count of open positions. It needs to make sure that it does not exceed 10 max positions. From line 376, we are doing a spread check again to make sure it is below 100 points. This is checked on line 380. From line 382 onwards is the start of the entry conditions for opening a position. We are using the RSI indicator and checking if the RSI is either above 70 or below 30. Once this is true, we next check two ATR indicators. One is a shorter ATR period of 3, the second ATR is a longer period of 14. We are checking if the short ATR line goes above the longer ATR line. This indicates increased momentum. These indicators, both ATR and RSI, are on the 1-hour time frame. From line 419, we are checking to see if there is a new candle opening. The entry conditions only fire on the opening of a 1-hour candle. On line 441, we are calling a method which determines which direction to open a position, etc. Is it a buy position or sell position? The result is put into trade dir variable, which is later used to decide to open a long or short. The scam in this expert advisor is hard coding so that it always know if it is best to open a long or short at a specific time. The expert advisor does not filter out trades but rather is instructed to open a short or long at the correct specific time. We will come back to the scam function for now, and show you what it does after it has decided which direction to open a position. The next bit of code is determine the volume of the position to use. If you are using compounding, it is calculated from the account equity, or the bit of code below at line 492 uses fixed lots. On line 506, it is checking if a short position is the trade direction. If it is not, it skips over the next part, which will soon be opening the short position. From line 509, I haven't looked deep into what this is doing, but it looks briefly trying to look at either the positions you currently have open or history and adjust the volume size based on that. It is probably part of the recovery feature or increasing lot size every position opened. Finally, on line 691, we are getting the current day of the week, like if it is Monday or Friday, and on line 692, we check if we can open a position on that day. On line 695, we create the position using the calculated volume before. Note that we create the position initially with no take profit or stop loss set, as we will fix that up afterwards. The code below does the exact same thing, except for it is for the long position. The code below is basically duplicated again, but for the long position. To recap everything, the entry conditions are: 1. It has to be either above 70 RSI or below 30 RSI. The RSI is for the 1-hour time frame. It uses a period of 14. 2. A shorter ATR must be above the longer ATR. The short ATR is using period 3, the longer ATR is using period 14. Both on the 1-hour time frame. 3. There must be a new 1-hour candle opening. One position is created every hour while the previous steps are true. 4. If enabled, it must trade within a trading window between 720 minutes and less than 1080 minutes since the start of the day. Now I will tell you how the expert advisor decided which direction to open a position. This is where the scam begins. The expert advisor has a function which has clearly been computer generated due to obsessive code duplication everywhere, or if it was not code generated, this would be the most lousy computer programmer I ever met. It has duplicated a piece of code over 512 times. This piece of code will look at the last 9 candles on the 1-hour chart, and will look at the combination of which ones are closing higher than their opening prices. It will assign a bucket number which you can see by the variable dir bucket. As you can guess, the dir bucket points to an index in an array which tells it whether it should open a short or long later in the function. He has worked out that statistically and pinned down specific instances when it was best to open a short or long based on the last 9 candles and if they close higher than their opening price or lower than their opening prices. Time shifting the candle data will not pick up this, as the prices will not change by shifting their times. Even shifting the price will not throw this off. For example, in the first block here, he checks that all last 9 candles are going up and assigns the dir bucket equals 1 at the end if they are. In the next block afterwards, the only difference with this one from the previous is that the 9th candle must be going down but all other candles are going up, and in this block he assigns it bucket number 2. Once the bucket is assigned, it is as simple as saying, if bucket is 1, we are going to open a short position. If it is bucket number 2, we are going to open long. This is a scam because he is being very specific and targeting specific known scenarios in the past. Keyword is specific. I was expecting a more generalized approach such as it starts to go up and then down at the last minute, but he has specifically hold hands with every scenario, along with the fact that the method looks computer generated further adds proof. The next bit of code I will show will 100% highlight this guy's intentions. The way he decided if bucket 1 is going up or down is decided by simple things like, is the current month January? He knows that when the sequence occurs in the back test, that the month will be January, for example, and doesn't have to worry because it will all line up at the right time. On line 44575, we are accessing an array with the dir bucket value as the index. We read a value from the array which is also an integer array and then pass it to the next function I've called the most laughable history check I've seen. In this function, its job is to determine if a short or long shall be used by either returning 1 or 0 or true or false. This function checks as argument a value between 1 and 300 which was retrieved earlier in that dir bucket array. Each one of these switch cases is designed to return a value that will be known at a specific time. Some of these are just pathetic, like if the current month is January then open long, or if the current month is not January open a long. The results of each switch case is put in local variable v195 which is used at the bottom of the method. These switch statement are junk instructions. Sometimes he is just checking 2 exact values are the same as each other, so it always results to true. I will show you an example of pathetic code. For example, at line 1578, he does moving average twice using exact same parameters at exact same time and check to see if the value is the same as each other. Well, of course the value will be the same as each other. Perhaps there is obfuscation going on here to either try and make it difficult to see the exact conditions for long or short. The biggest giveaway this was a scam was case 97 at line 1994. This one he is trusting that the month is not January, March, May, July, September, November, and if it is not, then the function will return 1, otherwise if it is any of those months, it will return 0. He must know which months this piece of code gets executed to know and predict the outcome. Hence this is further proof of pinning to specific times in the time frame. Now you have seen how to make $40,000 per month writing a scam expert advisor and why people like us exist. To end these guys.